What up, guys? Kevin Phillip Fox. I'm here for the Legit Football NFL podcast, and I am with the GOATed podcast trio. I'm here with my partner from Down Under. You already know. His name is Adrian Ravito, and he is here all the way from Australia. Adrian, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing so great. Actually, no, wait. I'll wait till we bring in our third, and then I would be remiss if I didn't mention something.
Perfect. Oh, we got something coming up. Oh, we got something coming up, and I don't know what it is, but we do have our third NFL Stats, Jimmy Ray himself. NFL Stats, Jimmy Ray, how the hell are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I mean, it's the best time of the year. The sun's shining in Indy, so it's just good vibes. It's good vibes.
Sun's shining in Indy.
Yeah.
Y'all have a pretty nice little backup quarterback there. We'll get to that later in the show. But it's going to be very, very exciting. We have so much free agency news to talk about, so much free agency news to break down. It's going to be a jam-packed, wild, stressful episode. There will be laughter. There will be tears. But I'm excited to do it, break it all down with you guys. I wouldn't have anybody else I'd rather do it with.
Should we make mention first before we move past and move on to the football, because this is a football podcast, but did the king have a birthday yesterday?
What king?
I think the king of podcasting, the king of this show.
I don't know. I
think he turned 18 again yesterday, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a spoiler, but yes, I did have a birthday yesterday. 29. I woke up today and my back was broken and my hips immediately needed a replacement. Jimmy, don't turn 29, buddy. Don't do it.
I got 2 more years left, man. I'd like to. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
It's not too late.
While we're giving advice, don't turn 37 either. Just saying.
Who knows about that in this room? Who knows about that in this room?
Cry me an actual river with your 29 years old.
Yeah, 29.
Literally, not a single one of us knows about 37. Don't joke, Adrian.
Yeah.
Forever 29. That's the new brand, Forever 29. So we have an unbelievable show. I'd like to joke with you really quick, Adrian. You know, who were my biggest Buffalo Bills postseason crushes last year? Do you remember?
All right. So last year they were Matt Milano. They were you're doing jersey lists. I'm saying postseason crushes, players that I was just loving having. Michael Hyde, Jordan Poyer. I'm way off here, aren't I? I can see where
your
your face is, but the answer you wanted.
You remember you and me talked last week or a couple of weeks back about the unsung heroes of the playoffs, like the players that make the big plays in the playoffs. I loved Khalil Shakir. He was probably number one.
Yeah.
Number two was a little guy that could named Ty Johnson. And on March 14th, 2024, the Bills re-signed Ty Johnson, and I couldn't be happier about it. That was my birthday present.
That was for you.
That was personal. I might get a Ty Johnson jersey. That would be pretty weird, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't. No,
I think I'm going to do it.
No weirder than Jimmy wearing a Matt Ryan jersey last.
That's true. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, Jimmy. You should get your head
Hall of
checked.
Fame legend, man. Hall of Fame legend.
We'll see.
Wait till my Joe Flacco Colts jersey.
I was gonna say that's the one. Get a Flacco Browns jersey. Comeback Player of the Year. Didn't die though, but Comeback Player of the Year. Adrian, Scab producer, no longer Scab. Scab's been removed from the title. Adrian,
I think I want to keep it. Is that weird?
I don't mind calling you Scab producer for the rest of your term here. I like it. It's just kind of,
for the rest of my life. I'm 37, so that's not that long. The rest of my life.
Hashtag why not us? Hashtag why not us?
Yeah.
Adrian, tell us what we have planned for the show today.
All right, so to be honest, everyone, free agency. It's a free agency fiasco. Hence the name of the episode, because it has been Fast and or Furious X. I'm talking like Vin Diesel is back. There's even more like Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this one. It has been crazy. So today's just going to focus on free agency. So I think the way we do this, boys, is we will pick a position group. I'll pop up some of the key free agency acquisitions, and let's just break it down. And maybe we can. And as always, we expose the bathrobe here. I said some of the less sexy positions, offensive line, tight end didn't have much going on. We can not talk too much about that.
I mean, there's some guys here and there that I'd like to address, but nothing crazy.
And don't let me undersell their value. But I'm just saying people love to hear the skill positions. Let's start sexy. Let's start with our quarterbacks.
We absolutely and this is a little exposing my bathrobe here. We talked about this last offseason. Y'all get excited about the coaching carousel I get excited about the QB carousel.
You love the QB carousel.
The QB carousel is sort of like, to me, as like, it's like the most exciting offseason thing. It's like seeing a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's like seeing your teachers at the mall. It's like seeing your piano teacher at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird. Russell Wilson in black and gold. Come on. So I think a fun way to do this is, I think we should each pick one we love and one we hate.
Okay,
that works.
All right,
I'll start. Take it away?
And yeah, I'm taking it away. Kenny Pickett to the Eagles just broke a handful of hours ago. I'll tell you what, guys. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if you take the hatred that Russell Wilson got the last couple of years in Denver, #Let's Ride, and you combine it with the hatred that Arthur Smith got last year, and you put it together, you get Pittsburgh's 2024 offense. And that just sounds like a cyclone of hatred. Do two negatives make a positive here? I was bad at math, but something tells me these two negatives. Deontay Johnson's out of town. Who do we got there? What weapons? George Pickens? Oh,
George.
Yeah.
You got George Pickens, you got their running back room.
Calvin Austin legend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
thought he was going to be big last year.
I'm going to respectfully, I love the move for the Steelers because it's going to cost them $1 million. And if they're in quarterback purgatory for another year and they end up sucking and they can draft a QB high next year, then so be it. And I love that Russ was so petty and stuck it to Denver. Very beautiful, beautiful move there, making them pay his whole salary. But that's the move I hate.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to go with you like that one.
I was joking.
I was like, maybe.
It was a joke. I don't think so. I think
you can't fault $1 million Russell Wilson. You like, I know what you're saying, and I agree with you.
Right.
But realistically, like they were never keeping Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph, or like, for all their talk of like, quarterback's in our room, whatever. But like, you can't fault paying $1 million for Russell Wilson. Even, last year he was league average, right? Like he didn't suck. Sucked the year before. We'll put that down to Nate Hackett. Last year was league average in a new system. He's going to be in a new system again. The only thing I don't like about it, there's two things. I don't know. Like, do you see him being like a Mike Tomlin guy? Like, he's just the opposite of what Mike Tomlin's like all business. Let's just make it's kind of like pairing him with Bill Belichick. Got to be. So I don't like that. And I also don't like that he's probably going to get you 9 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. He's not going to get you a high draft pick. That's what I mind.
You don't think there's any movement in the win total with Russell Wilson instead of Kenny Pickett? Because that's about where they were at last year. 1 or 2.
Yeah, maybe 1 win, but that's the problem. So you keep Mason Rudolph for say you get a losing season. Sorry, Mike Tomlin, and you draft someone high next year. Whereas here you're going to be back where you started.
I personally like it for the Steelers because it's low risk. I don't like it from a ceiling perspective. I don't think this gets you out of quarterback purgatory. I don't think this gets you out of quarterback hell. I think you're right in the thick of where you've been for the past since Ben retired, since Ben stopped being good, realistically. So I think we're looking at a very, very tough stretch of football for the Iron City. I think bold prediction here, Adrian, true bold prediction, and it's extra bold because it's so early. It's like bold checks mix, extra bold. Mike Tomlin's going to have his first losing season next year.
Whoa.
Wait, with Russell Wilson. I can't say it.
I was going to say, Adrian, based on what he was horrible in Denver. What logic are you basing that they'll win games?
Well, hold on. So, peel back the stats here, and we've got Mr. Stats. I don't know where he ranked. I can look it up after while we're talking, but Russell Wilson was not terrible last year. He
Top
was
10 fantasy quarterback, at least.
And he was not great.
That doesn't say everything.
Yeah. He wasn't great, but he was not
it's
bad.
The Steel City. My fault. Bonner Buzzy is getting me. I love it. It's
he held on to you. I like that.
I love that.
Keep Iron Steel, potato. Come on.
I love the name too. Bonner Buzzy. Shout out to Bonner Buzzy. That's funny. My fault.
Hey, Bonner Buzzy, while you're fact checking, if you can let us know where Russell Wilson ranked in QBs, that'd be fantastic. Otherwise, I'll do it. But he was not bad last year. All right, and you pair him with Tomlin, who before Big Ben took his nosedive, this sort of. Sometimes he can scramble, sometimes he can run, but for the most part, he's going to pocket pass, and that's what Russell Wilson's going to give you at this part of his career. He's not that same guy that can scramble out and extend every play. You put him with a good coach, you put him with a decent line, you got a running back room that takes a lot of the attention. I just think he'll be okay. And the other thing is Mike Tomlin just doesn't have losing seasons. So unless you're not paying taxes this year, or there's going to be no death, Tomlin's not losing.
I feel you.
Yeah, I don't think we're picking the Steelers to have a winning season based solely off of Russell Wilson. I think it comes with they added Patrick Queen on the defensive side of the ball with a defense that's already just spectacular.
It's a good signing.
That's big time too. And I do think Russell Wilson is an upgrade, whether some people think or not, from Kenny Pickett. Will they jump the gun? It's kind of the same with Kirk Cousins, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But will it excel them into Super Bowl contender? Not necessarily, but will they maybe make a wild card run? We'll have to wait and see. But out of all of the options that they had with the pick that they have in the draft and the free agents available, I don't completely hate it, especially paying them $1 million. It's what's it hurt when you have a young defense and you have to get the most out of them while you can.
Yeah.
So
I see it. I see where you guys are coming from, and
yeah.
I guess I'm looking at it from a ceiling perspective. It's like Adrian said, you can't run $1 million for the Steelers for a former Super Bowl champion, former MVP candidate. It's really hard to hate. I just hate it from a ceiling perspective. I don't think this gets you where you want to go. I think this kicks the can down the road, in my opinion.
So there we go. Thank you, Ross. Thank you for that, Bonabuzzy.
Do you have anything you'd rather them do?
Options
right now, or just
if you want to go for a quarterback high in the draft, then tank, then sell out.
I get that. I don't know if that's better, but
that's
actually, you know what?
Well, why is it not better? Because then you can at least rip the Band-Aid off and have a terrible season. You know what Brandon Bean said last year, and I say it all the time, I repeat it all the time. The Bills haven't sucked bad enough to go out and get a Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
You have to suck bad enough to go out there and get those blue chip players. That's something that has to happen when you're rebuilding. And the Steelers, they've been putting off a rebuild since Ben retired. It's the reason why Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's the same with I'm a Pacers fan, and they haven't had a number one pick ever play for them. So they've always been stuck in mediocrity, which I think is kind of where you're going with the Steelers for the past. It's just hard to tank for something like that when you have such good players. Are you going to trade TJ Watt?
Right, exactly.
It's tough. It's tough to do that.
You can't trade TJ.
Fan base will hate you if you try that.
Huge shout out to Bonner Buzzy, first time listener. He's bringing in the fire. I love this comment from Bonner Buzzy. This franchise doesn't sell out. We don't stoop that low. Fields is their best option. Adrian, did you say that?
I was just about to jump in and say that was my free agency wish, and I actually wish they did that. And I think Fields could have been their franchise. I really do.
No
think
doubt better.
Bigger
100%.
Ceiling.
So
yeah, absolutely.
We're all on the same page there. Let's keep it moving. I want to give a special shout out. Armand and Bonner Buzzy are keeping the chat alive. I see 630 of you are in the room. Please don't be afraid to comment. We love interacting with our listeners. Thank you guys for showing
that
love.
That would be very interesting.
You need
Bonner Buzzy.
You need another quarterback.
I'm gonna disagree with you there, buddy. I don't think they're gonna give both.
They traded Kenny Pickett. They got to throw somebody maybe.
All right. So let's keep it moving. Give me a move you guys hate out of this batch.
That was the one. I mean, look, Kenny Pickett to me is irrelevant.
You hated it and you defended it?
No, but for those reasons. I gave you the reasons, but I think Fields is a better option. Okay. Stop it. But Kenny Pickett is irrelevant. That to me doesn't matter. He's a backup. And I mean, is anyone surprised when Kenny Pickett was drafted? Didn't he just scream career backup? Can I give you one a love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
ahead. You guys know where I'm going here? You have to know where I'm going here.
Broadway Baker.
What? Right to Baker Mayfield. The Bucks bring him back. Now look, they're paying him probably too much. Let's be honest here. I'm bringing up his contract. What did he get? 30 million?
Years, 100 mil.
Yeah. So they're probably paying him too much. You know, they got really great value. I think they paid him $3 million last year. But I just love it. And bring it back. They bring back Mike Evans. They bring back Lamont David. Like they've just done well, the Bucks this year, and I'm happy with the way their team's going, and I feel like I'm going to be a little Baker stan again next year, and I hope he delivers. And you know what? Maybe I'm just talking from my heart and not from my analyst head there. I just love the signing. I think his best chance to continue this progression is there. Dave Canales is gone. That hurts. But I really do hope the kind of Baker revival continues in 2024.
Yeah, it's hard not to root for Baker.
And so based on how long we've talked about quarterbacks, this show is going to go for about 7 hours. So I hope everyone's got some snacks.
We'll fly through. We'll pick up our pace a little bit. I love the Baker signing. You can't knock it. I mean, what he did for them last year, getting them back in the playoffs, winning a playoff game, not just for the Bucs, but I love it for Baker. I personally grew very tired of the Baker shtick when he was in Cleveland. Thank you. When he was in Cleveland and he was doing the whole I'm gonna dance and hit the Dougie and plant the flag and whatever. I didn't feel like he earned the attitude that he had. I feel like we're seeing humble second leg of his career, Baker Mayfield, and I'm really, really excited to actually root for him now.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody better to root for, I feel like, but it is one of those things where, like you said with the Steelers, like, are they sticking themselves in mediocrity? But they did make kind of a run last year.
Yeah,
and I think they have a kind of a team built around them. So running it back, I think it's good for the fan base. Good.
Former first overall pick. Yeah, we know what he can do. We know. We're 100% sure. Jimmy, give us a love or hate.
I can give you a little bit of both. I hate the Sam Darnold to the Vikings. I feel like the Vikings as a whole, that whole quarterback room, I don't know what their plan is. They did trade up in the first round, so now they have the 23rd and an earlier pick, I believe. So they have 2 firsts now. So are they going to be looking at a quarterback in the first round? I safe to say yes, but they still don't necessarily. They're not there yet. And will they even get a chance to move up? Who will they pick? Will they end up with like somebody that they don't necessarily love? Will they end up with like JJ McCarthy? We'll see. But at this point, I mean, Sam Darnold's not your guy. We know that. And you have JJ, Justin Jefferson. There's a lot of rumors going around and stuff. He's there. They're saying they're not going to trade him. We've heard that a million times. Vikings 11-23. Thanks, Armand. So they can definitely use that as ammo. But we'll wait and see. As for what I love, I like Gardner Minshew. I like Gardner Minshew getting his flowers and stuff. Getting an opportunity to start with the Raiders. So he'll definitely have an opportunity there. I would have loved to sign him as a backup, but we were never going to start him. So.
Yep, we also got Jimmy Garoppolo to the Rams. That also happened today. It's been a busy couple days. Yeah, busy couple days.
Actually, can I throw? Sorry, I know Kevin, it's your turn, but
please.
I have to say, I said I don't hate anything else. I have to say I don't like Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. Look, he was the bell cow. He was the bell of the ball. He was the quarterback that had to us. It's like, dude, he's an over 30-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles. I know he was playing his best, but you've given him 4 years, 180 mil. Now, I think the way they've structured it, those last 2 years are kind of fake. You can get rid of him without taking too much of it because he's got a big signing bonus and it's front loaded. But I feel like at some point the NFL has to learn that signing these big veteran quarterbacks to long term, it's just like, sorry, I need 15 minutes to read Bonabuzzy's message. But there's just no. I feel like they're going to really regret this signing. He's going to give them an upgrade from Desmond Ridder, that's no doubt. But I just think coming off an Achilles, older quarterback, new system, just don't know about it. Am I crazy? Like, do you guys think it's a good signing?
You're not crazy at all. And I'm kind of in the middle on it. I know our last episode that we did have, I was like, I mean, that was one of the spots that I loved for Kirk Cousins, and it did work out. And that's mainly because I think he provides a better opportunity to maximize the talent that they have around him. I know some people think Justin Fields, but I think there's more stability with Kirk Cousins, even though he's old and coming off of an Achilles tear. But that's definitely some risk. And like you said, putting all that money towards a quarterback like that, it hasn't worked out necessarily for Kirk in the past either. I mean, they've been good, but not great. So I've definitely seen that. But I'm excited to see the offense for the first time than I have. Like, I was always like against the Falcons and stuff because I knew Desmond Ridder was going to be out the door at some point. So yeah, they have a pretty good team as a whole. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I gotta chime in as well because Adrian said over 30-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles tear. Let's try over 35. He is 35 plus. So that is like. And again, Adrian, we're not ageist on this show. We love having you. Okay, we know that you're.
Wow, but you don't want me. You don't want me for 4 years and 180 million when I'm on it. If I'd broken my voice box, which is the equivalent.
Probably not. Honestly, probably not. But maybe for the morale.
I mean, I know it, but
I might still keep you. I might still keep you. But I actually, I'm a little warmer than colder on it because again, like Jimmy said, maximizing the talent. I talked about the hatred for Arthur Smith. Ding Dong the Witch is dead. You know, we have guys in there who can put people in the right positions to make plays. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts to the moon for fantasy football. And I'll say that with my chest. I'll firmly be investing in the Falcons next year. Kirk is maybe the biggest question mark now based on just his health and based on, he's always been kind of the definition of above average. Like, I think we joke about the Kirk Cousins tier of quarterbacks. We say, oh, this guy is Kirk Cousins. He's kind of like the poster child for not mediocre, not bad, but not great. So I'll say it. I'm warmer than colder, but I totally respect your reservations. Kenny Pickett to the Eagles? Don't care. No offense. Sorry. Back up. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I still think Jalen Hurts has some growing pains to work through, and got to see him fully healthy. But we're going to read Bonner Buzzy's message, and then we're going to move on to running backs. Everybody good with that?
I was going to address Bonner Buzzy's message and just say,
let's go.
First of all, yeah, like huge message. But I agree with everything you've said. I think Will Arthur Smith and Russ Mesh. If Arthur Smith is like he was with the Falcons, and he just like he'll live and die by his quarterback no matter what is happening on the stats sheet, Russ is going to love that. I feel like Russ probably has eaten a little bit of humble pie, so hopefully he's not coming in with that diva that had his own office on the second floor in Denver. So, yeah.
Cringe.
So there's a chance that this will work well. Look, you're right. I think the team is built to give Russ a good shot here. And he's been paying nothing for him. He's on a 1-year deal. So at the worst, you eat your medicine and you move on next year, but you may just be back where you started.
You're exactly right. And Bonner Buzzy, as a diehard fan, we love that on this show. We respect that on this show. I'm a diehard Bills fan. Adrian's a diehard Packers fan. Jimmy's a diehard Colts fan, and we all wear our fandom on our sleeves. It's part of the show. We try to be objective as analysts because it's important, but we also think that fandom is one of the most important elements of sports, and we don't leave it out of the show. It's important not to. So thank you for sharing. Titan Maximum says it's a dang shame to have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison stuck with Sam Darnold. I'm inclined to agree, but let's all just pump the brakes on the Sam Darnold hate. Okay, if I had to pick a side, I would probably lean on the colder side, but Sam Darnold could have a Baker Mayfield career trajectory. He was a high draft pick. He has the pedigree. He has the talent. Me personally, I had a feeling the Bills would end up with Josh Allen. I had a gut feeling, and I was happy about it. But I liked Sam Darnold maybe the most in that class because I thought he was the most polished. Now, the Jets, Jimmy, I think you're muted. I don't know if I saw your mouth move. I didn't hear anything. Are you muted? Age, can you hear Jimmy?
I can't, but I can. Why don't I just pretend to be Jimmy? You move your mouth, and I'll just.
I can read his lips. There we go. We can hear you now.
Okay. What was I saying? Oh, do you think Sam Darnold will start next year?
I think for what they're paying him.
Or do you think they'll go somewhere else?
10 mil.
They're giving him
10
mil, yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I personally will. I'm gonna just expose the bathtub here. I have Sam Darnold in our Superflex Dynasty League, so I'm gonna say he's gonna start. So everybody who wants him, send me trade offers. You feel? I don't know if he'll actually start though. I agree with Bonner Buzzy here. 100% possible that we have a Baker situation unfolding.
That's fair.
Are we good to go to running backs? We're flying along the show. We got 800 people watching. Thank you guys all. We love and appreciate you all.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it. So do you want to move to running backs, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so one that you love, one that you hate. I started last time. Adrian, take it away.
I mean, you know what I'm going to say here. I have to talk about the Packers here. So, Bonner Buzzy, this is where Kevin was saying like that we're diehards, and sometimes, and I really try not to. I try not to talk about the Packers too much because I appreciate that I'm naturally inclined to kind of go that way, but I have to talk about it here. So Aaron Jones moves on. I haven't updated in this onto the Vikings, so I will update that when I stop talking. And they bring Josh Jacobs in. They re-sign AJ Dillon. So I actually like the move. I think Aaron Jones, and I love Aaron Jones. I think that signing to the Vikings hurt me more than Rodgers leaving. I definitely hurt more than Bakhtiari being let go, because he's just kind of like Aaron Jones has been a little bit of a face of the franchise, you know. And when he's in, we play better, and when he's not, we play worse. And that was the story of last season. So I think you bring Josh Jacobs in. He's younger. He's a similar kind of elusive runner, who can really he's explosive. As soon as he gets through a hole, he can end up in the end zone from anywhere. That's what Aaron Jones is at his peak. You keep AJ Dillon, Dillon is who he is. You're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. You get AJ Dillon in, he headbutts into the line, and he hopefully gets you over there. But that's all he's ever going to be. And I say that as someone who likes his personality and likes what he brings to the locker room. So I like the signing of Josh Jacobs. If you can get 2022, I have to think about my years for a second. 2022 Josh Jacobs there. you're absolutely set up for success because you can get him in 3 downs. He will be your bell cow and he will provide a lot of stability to Jordan Love. So I like the signing. That's my first one. And then
I like the signing too. I have a little bit of a roast here just for fun. All right. So guys, AJ Dillon, 3rd and 1, he's gonna get you 2. AJ Dillon, 3rd and 5, he's gonna get you 2. That's just what he does.
That
AJ
ain't a roast.
Dillon,
that's accurate.
Career 1.8 yards per carry. That's not actually true, but that's my roast. There, okay.
It's accurate.
Mask off. I had to do a little bit there. That was I love Josh Jacobs to the Packers. I love Josh Jacobs to the Packers. I think that's a slam dunk. Pair him with Jordan Love and the really great talent that they have at wide receiver, man. Solid pickup, man. I'm a little jealous because I think team pay RB that's growing steam. We talked last offseason, this was one of the biggest talking points. RBs don't get paid. RBs are undervalued. Don't let your kid be an RB. I think we're seeing the pendulum swing.
Yeah, I was shocked by this move, honestly.
Me too.
I didn't really see the move coming, but I do agree with you in terms of like the running backs getting paid and stuff. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's like the money they probably want, but I think everybody's getting what they want in the open market. So it's a little different than everybody like on the same team getting franchise tagged all the time. So it's good to see some of these guys getting some good money. Is it my turn now?
Yeah, let it rip.
So I like the Derrick Henry signing to the Ravens. I think that's a sure thing. I think they got a good deal out of it. And I mean, just the fact that you have Lamar and Derrick Henry, regardless of where Derrick Henry's at, he's not going to be like the guy who's going to take on the low because they have Lamar Jackson running a lot of the time. So just kind of the dual threat of like the elusiveness of Lamar and like just the ground and pound of Derrick Henry. I'm excited to see those kind of read option calls and seeing how they use that with their offense. I mean, I love it. So
I love it, man. I couldn't agree more. Imagine just Gus Edwards, but better. I think is what Derrick Henry is going to be on the Ravens. I'm stoked about it.
I think he can still run too. I don't think age has obviously deteriorated him slightly, but he's not past his prime yet. So I think he's found the right landing spot.
Should I go with one I hate, or do we want to?
I was gonna. Oh, was I gone for a second?
You're frozen for a second.
I could feel it. I could tell. My fault. I was actually on purpose. I was doing a bit again. No, I'm just kidding. Move I love is. I can't believe neither of you picked this, but I love Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. I think it's a phenomenal signing. I'm not at all mad. Adrian's grimacing. That's something I love to see. I love a little controversy. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. He's been a top 5 running back since he's been drafted. He's one of the most talented running backs in the league. He was the engine of the Giants offense, the thick-thighed engine that could. Saquon Barkley has been doing it for years, and I'm super excited to see him on an actual competent team with excellent quarterback play and threats on both sides. When you're throwing it, Saquon, he's going to be impossible. The Eagles are going to be impossible to deal with next year. I think Saquon Barkley has the potential to have 1,300 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns because Jalen Hurts is going to get them all.
Look, you know what? I'll tell you why I grimaced, and it's not because I don't like Saquon Barkley, and I think I don't trust the Eagles. I don't trust Sirianni. They had how much talent did they have last year, and they tanked like historically. Kelsey's now gone, so your line is a little bit worse. I called that I wanted Saquon Barkley to the Texans. I stand by that. Would have been fantastic. But I can deal with him going to the Eagles. It's just, I guess what I hate is he went to the Giants. He was this generational talent. You guys remember the hype around Saquon Barkley?
Oh, I'll never forget it.
Number 2
drafted over Josh Allen.
Yeah. So he went to the Giants. And he's always been great. He's always been fantastic, but he's been in a team that is just the dumps. Like, no offense to the Giants fans. And now you're going to go to Eagles, and it wouldn't surprise me. Would anyone be shocked if the Eagles were like 7-9? Like, would that?
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
I'd probably be shocked.
I think they'll be 10-7, and I think they'll be a wild card team. And if Jalen Hurts doesn't get his ish together from last year, I think they'll be in one and done in the playoffs again.
See, I could see Sirianni being fired by week 7.
It's possible.
Yeah, and that's what I hate.
You're not projecting that though, right? You're just saying you could see it.
I don't love the
unlikely
Eagles.
In my opinion. It's unlikely.
So yeah, I could see it going poorly. But they had the talent last year. Like I appreciate that their running back room didn't, but they had the talent last year, and they started fantastic and they dropped off. Like what's changed besides Saquon Barkley? They've lost some pieces as well.
I think Hurts is going to be better. I really think there was some issues with the knee and the shoulder and all. I don't think he was 100% last year. Watching him play, the eye test was like bad, in my opinion. He didn't have the same burst he had the year where he took Philly to the Super Bowl. He didn't have the same burst. Yeah, I think it comes back. I think it never did for Cam Newton, but I think it might for Hurts.
He's hoping. All right. So just to address a couple comments, Dylan signed a 1 year 2 points.
Oh, it is? It is out?
Yeah, it just came out 1 year, 2.74 million. Nothing special. Cool. He'll probably be around for another year. That's it. Any thoughts on Eckler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what, 2 years, like $4 million a year. I mean, that's
hard to hate. Why
not?
Yeah. Bonner Buzzy has consistently proven that he is a man of value with the Russell signing and now the Eckler signing. They're both good values at their price point. Yeah. Just hard to get excited about Eckler after what we saw, how he looked last year.
I mean, they still have Brian Robinson, so he'll be kind of like, I think Brian Robinson will still be the main
I think
guy.
He'll be in the Antonio Gibson role, which I think is kind of optimal for him. I think that's something he can still do.
Optimal for the Washington too, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun 1-2 punch. I hate Tony Pollard to the Titans. I hate it.
That's what I was going to say.
Thank you. Through all three of us. Okay. So instead of all of us picking one to hate because we don't want to force a circular peg into a square hole, let's all talk about why we hate Tony Pollard to the Titans because I think we could. I think we could write a novel. They're overpaying people. They don't have a certainty at quarterback, and they're kind of making all-in type moves. And Tony Pollard literally fell off a cliff last year in Dallas. I'm not going to rant about it because I just talked about Saquon. Boys, please, I'm passing you the baton. Why do we hate Tony Pollard to the Titans?
Jimmy, should you? Do you want to? I can throw some.
It feels like the opposite of like the Colts do in terms of like the Colts are very like very careful with their money, which is a good and bad thing at times. But I mean, we don't have to go into like Calvin Ridley, which I don't think is a terrible. We'll talk about it. But yeah, Tony Pollard just didn't look amazing with the Cowboys and kind of getting like, what was it, like 3 years, 228. Yeah, 3 years, $24 million deal. It just seems a little steep for somebody that didn't really prove that he was one of the top echelon running backs last year when he was given the chance. When his opportunity came, it just didn't produce as much as a lot of people anticipated. And then getting a similar contract to players like DeAndre Swift and Saquon a little bit, but Saquon got a decent amount more. But I just don't see the value here for the Titans as a whole, like you said, with their team.
I'm trying to look. So, all right, total figures. Derrick Henry, 2 years, 16 mil. That's $8 million, which I know it's not. It changes based on signing bonus where they've loaded it.
The incentives are important too. We have to always think about the incentives.
Yeah, the guaranteed
Tony Pollard, 3 years, 24 mil, $8 million. I know it's not. Again, I know it's not that, but they're working out roughly. Like, have the Titans upgraded to Tony Pollard? Like, I appreciate he was coming off quite a big injury last year, so maybe we're all a little bit harsh on him. And first time he stepped into that light before that injury, Tony Pollard looked like a guy that could be the guy.
Yeah,
but then last year he didn't really deliver when he got the chance to be the guy. Now he might still be the guy, but is he the guy more than Derrick Henry is the guy?
At this,
maybe
this stage,
it feels like they just wanted a new. Like new isn't always better. Like a lot of people say, and that's exactly what they did here. They got someone new, probably because the sides were both ready to move on. Which I get.
One of my absolute favorite football analogies to make is the Family Guy, where he's like, "Well, I mean, a boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. It's like, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard could be Derrick Henry, and it's like he kind of had him, but he's old." The vibes might have been off and sour, and I'm okay. I'm comfortable with their choice, not just pay Tony Pollard, but to move on from Derrick Henry.
Bonner Buzzy is right though. It's just the youth too. Tony Pollard is young.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is definitely past his years in a way, so he won't be as good as what he used to be. But maybe
I agree with you.
Think pairing that with like a young quarterback, seeing what they have.
We have
Will Levis or whoever.
I would just take Derrick Henry for 2 years over Tony Pollard for 3. I agree with you, but I think Derrick Henry's still got 2 years in the tank.
There's probably the guaranteed money is probably only a couple years in. They probably have an out too. So
we have Anthony sharing his favorite teams. We have Texans, Packers, Jacksonville, Eagles, Panthers. Love it, Anthony. Thank you for showing love to the pod. We appreciate you commenting. Bonner, I couldn't agree more. Paying for youth, and Bonner Buzzy is the spokesperson for value signings. A sneaky deal I love. You already know Ty Johnson back to Buffalo. If he's RB2, I'm comfortable. If he's RB3, I'm elated. Looking forward to seeing how that shakes down for my Bills.
Oh, yeah, for Tony Pollard, there is just a $2 million dead cap after 2025.
Jimmy, any Colts movement on running backs, or are they still rocking Johnny T? I know Zach Moss departed. We didn't put that here. Zach Moss is a Bengal.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon's a Texan.
Yeah,
those moves are fine.
Awesome. I like.
I'm a fan
Joe
of those
Mixon's
moves.
fun. Colts, there wasn't a lot. They might need a backup running back, but we kind of like our rookie last year in Evan Hull. He provided some opportunity there, so we might see what he has.
But Zach Moss was a train for you guys when Johnny
he was a dog, dude. We definitely stopped using him towards the end, but I'm excited to have.
He sucked.
He has a good opportunity with.
He was garbage in Buffalo.
Yeah, that was weird. I remember first hearing
about
trade. That. We were like, "Woo!"
What a trade!
Gone, Zach Moss to the
Hines, jet ski accident. He did return
2 punt returns, touchdowns.
As I say, he did.
He'll always have that.
Yeah, I'll always have that. Okay, guys, we have wide receivers, and if we're planning on doing every single position, we might have to make this offense week and make next week defense week because we're ripping.
Yeah, next time.
Jimmy, start us off. Which of these wide receiver signings do you love?
So I won't say Michael Pittman, even though I really want to.
No, do it.
I mean, I love that. Is Michael Pittman even good?
I can. He is good.
Is he good?
Yes, he is.
Is he great? Okay, sorry. Is he great?
Great, and what are you saying? Like top 5?
Jimmy, if you walked off the show, I would understand.
What do you mean by great?
All right, I'll put it this way. Can you look me in the eye right now? Ignore the currently and loving it 946 people watching. Can you say? I'm lost in your eyes. I've forgotten my point. Can you tell me that Michael Pittman is a wide receiver 1 that you want to be there? Like, is that who you want as your wide receiver?
Bonner Buzzy says he's mid.
Thank you. I'm looking. Hold on, I'm gonna look up his stats right now. I know he went over 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards. I understand he had Gardner Minshew and then Andrew, but like to me, he's a step below great. That's what I think, and I think you can't rest on your laurels in a position like wide receiver. You can't rest on your laurels and have Michael Pittman as your wide receiver 1. That's my honest opinion.
I think he's very reliable. I think he's gotten some. I mean, what quarterback
amazing 2
he had? Yeah, he
amazing number 2.
2. I mean, what 2s? How many good 2s are there? I mean,
guys,
I think he's like.
I've refrained from talking because I'm just a bit mortified. I do want to. I will side with Jimmy here. I think Michael Pittman is a good wide receiver 1. He'd be a great wide receiver 2. I would prefer him as my wide receiver 2, but I ain't freaking mad at him being my wide receiver 1. I don't think there's 20 wide receivers in the NFL better.
Are you saying he's not a top 30 wide receiver?
I'm saying
that's
20.
What you say when you're saying wide receiver 2.
I'm saying he would be one of the best wide receiver 2. Like, he'd be a T. Higgins level.
Are you saying like
he'd
top
be a
15?
Jalen Waddle level.
Top 15.
I think he's
Correct.
top 20. I think he's a top 20 receiver.
Yeah.
Do we all feel okay about that?
Adrian, do you agree? That's my point. No, that's my point though, is that I'm not saying he's bad. So just to clarify, because I don't want Jimmy to hate me for the rest of my life.
He hates you. It's over.
Was it the Matt Ryan comment? No.
I like that one.
Yo, Adrian's dogging Jimmy today, dude. He knows it's my birthday. He can't say.
Yeah, I know. He can't say ish.
You dropped an S bomb right there, Kevin. I love it.
No, I said ish. I said ish.
Did you?
We both said ish. Everybody said it.
Close. Yeah.
I did.
You know what? Whatever. We're good. So I would just say that if he is, let's call him top 20, right? My wide receiver 1 that I want, and I don't have this at the moment as a Packer fan. You don't want your wide receiver 1 to be in the back half of your wide receiver 1s because offense beats defense, and I know sometimes defense they say defense wins championships, but they don't, right? Like you need your offense to be firing, and you need a wide receiver 1 who's in the top half of the league. So. Thank you, Bonner Buzzy. So, look, I'm glad I got Bonner here to back me up because otherwise I'm very alone.
Yeah, controversial.
Controversial, but accurate.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave? Yeah, I don't agree with Adrian, but I get what you're saying. Jimmy, good. Congrats on getting Michael Pittman back. I'm happy.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
100%.
I'm not too worried about it. He's a
you.
reliable guy that can,
totally.
I mean, he's been the staple of our offense for quite some time, so he's proven that he can make things happen, and he hasn't had a great opportunity at quarterback, and I think Anthony Richardson could definitely be that. In terms of production, I don't know where you see him as like missing, but I think he could be top 15. I think he could be top 10.
Maybe That's a stretch.
This is a video coming back.
Yeah,
we're getting video coming back.
Yeah, we're getting into. Okay.
I might have to timestamp this so I can cut that. We'll see because I like
Adrian,
it.
I need you to tell me a wide receiver move that you love.
Okay. All right. Look. I love that Mike Evans is back with the Bucks. I've said that in the last show. T. Higgins being franchise tag makes sense, even though he wants to leave. The acquisition. I've always been on the Calvin Ridley fan, but yeah, his performance was too up and down last year for me to say I love it. So let's go with the one I called Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel to the Bills. I said that last 2 weeks ago, and I still think it's a perfect fit. Gabe Davis is out the door. He's gone to Jacksonville for 3 years, $39 million. I don't know about that. So you bring in Curtis Samuel, 3 years, $24 million. I like it. Are you happy with it? You're frozen.
I was so sad there. I was really desperately wanting to hear what you were saying, and I just saw your face frozen.
Oh, no. So that was me. I did ask if you were happy with the Curtis Samuel sign.
Dude, I couldn't be happier. I love that move. I think it's so awesome. I actually, before I say my thoughts, I want to hear all of your thoughts as to why you love it, because I'm just biased, just to be completely honest. I just love, Brandon Beane's my boy. I don't think and he's your boy too. Actually, you're biased too. Jimmy, do you love it?
I do love it. I almost said it too. And I saw the signing and I was like, that just feels like a good fit for the Bills. Right. Like, I think everybody was like, yeah, that's definitely a better version of what you guys had. I won't say his name.
It feels like they've been trying every single year to do what they're doing with Curtis Samuel, but they finally have, like, Isaiah McKenzie, Curtis Samuel light. Deontay Hardy, Curtis Samuel light. They finally have Curtis Samuel, who is not Curtis Samuel light. They have Curtis Samuel, who is more like Deebo Samuel light or Tyreek Hill light. Like, Curtis Samuel is for sure a wide receiver 2-3 range, but the fact that the Bills have him, his speed, his athleticism, his playmaking ability, I'm super excited about it. I hope it doesn't stop them from drafting a wide receiver. That would maybe not be my favorite. I'd like to see them bring in some young talent there. Diggs is old and volatile. Love him to death, Adrian. He's old and volatile.
Can I make fun of him? Can I make fun of him yet?
It's just true. No, you're not allowed to. Only I can.
I would like to know, when there's a day comes where you're like, okay, you can make fun of Stephon Diggs. I'd like to know just so I can unload, because I don't want it to be like the girlfriend that you break up with. I tell you what I really think, and then you get back together.
Oh, it's gonna 100 exactly. Thank you. Good call. Let's wait to see where he takes his first snap in 2024, and then you can talk all the smack you want. While I'm eating bonbons and crying on the couch. Yeah, I'm gonna go full Bills love on the Curtis Samuel move. 3 years, 24 up to 24 mil. Freaking great contract. It's a bit savant like for Brandon Beane. He keeps doing this every year. I said this earlier in the offseason, and I'm so happy that it's coming home to roost. But people panic. Bills windows closed. Ryan Clark released a video 2 days ago. Bills windows closed with Stephen A. Smith like chiming in, and it's like, I don't think so. I think it's wide freaking open, and I think the Curtis Samuel move does not do anything to hurt it.
Great.
All right. I'll say what I love. I love Hollywood to the Chiefs.
I was just gonna say I thought you'd hate that. I love the move, but
I hate it. I hate it because I hate the Chiefs, but it's a freaking great signing. Hollywood's been great. He's been a really good player. When he's had opportunities, when he's been healthy, he's been really high impact. His speed and that offense is terrifying. I am terrified. But we have to see him in Mahomes.
For a sound drop?
Yeah, you have to. We have to see him and Patty get on the same page. Honorable mentions. I love Darnell to the Falcons, and I love Keenan Allen to the Bears. I think Caleb Williams is going to cook his rookie year. I really do.
Is there any world where Justin Fields is still their QB?
No.
No? There's no way they go get a hold?
I don't think so.
I can't imagine it. That'd be weird.
It would be really, at this point, it would be really weird.
I agree. It would be. I saw a take on Twitter, and I just made me think. I'm like, he's not gone yet. Anyway, that's for another day. Quick question: Marquise Brown, is he wide receiver 1, or would you put Rashee Rice over him?
I think he is going to be their wide receiver 1, like in a de facto sense, like because he plays on the outside and he's more of that type of player. But I think Rashee Rice might get more volume because he's just I agree with that. He's just a lock for 6 catches. He's just a good slot player. What do we hate? Jimmy, kick us off with hate. You kicked us off with love. Kick us off with hate.
We can talk about Calvin Ridley a little bit. 29-year-old wide receiver. That he had some upsides at the beginning of last year, but we talked about it earlier. Just the $50 million guaranteed over 4 years. That's when it gets a little tough. That's kind of a strong pursuit of a wide receiver, and it was a very shocking signing as well because we thought he would go back to the Jags. The Patriots were in on it, but it worked out to the way the Titans were like, we want him, kept it quiet, got his money, but in terms of the long-term value, I just don't necessarily see it.
Yeah, he was up and down last year. He still hit over 1,000 yards, still led their touchdowns. Yeah. But you're right, and I agree with you because and Kevin will tell you, I was on the Calvin Ridley train at the start of the season, like hard. Like, I was driving that train. Yeah. But I think that was more on a personal standpoint when he sort of came back into the league. But if I look at his performance and even just the eye test, like he just, to me, he doesn't scream 4-year guaranteed contract. Like, you know what I mean?
And I don't even mind the 4-year, guaranteed contract. I mind the number. Holy crap. When I first saw it, my head, like, I'm not the best math guy. My head was like 4 years, 92 mil. I was like, oh, so that's like what? Like 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I was like, oh, to get to 80, it's 4 by 20. So they're paying him more than $20 million a year.
That's like, yeah.
That's like top. Well, Adrian, or Jimmy, what is that for wide receiver contracts? That's got to be top
23.
10, right?
It's probably top 5, maybe.
That's like Tyreek Hill.
Especially for like the long term. Like I think Devontae Adams was like a 1 year, like 29, 30 mil.
That's like Diggs money
at one point. So I'd say it's probably like, in terms of annual value, it's probably like top 7.
Oh my god, it made me nauseous when I started thinking about it because I think Calvin Ridley was like a $13-15 million player.
Yeah,
he's currently.
2, 4, I can't fathom that.
Because even Michael Pittman, he got the same amount of money, but at least it was like we have a possible out after 2 years for that too. Like Calvin Ridley, there's a lot more money involved with this.
It's bad. It's bad.
So he's the 10th ranked wide receiver.
10th highest paid wide receiver.
Well,
too high.
Like 7.
I think
for
context, Adrian, I'd rather have Michael Pittman than Calvin Ridley. And
I think I would give you that weirdly because I think Calvin Ridley's too up and down to be a 1.
Yep. Too volatile.
Terry McLaurin, who I freaking love he's
him.
only getting $200,000 more a year than Calvin Ridley. I would pay not double, that's not true, but I would pay millions more per year for Scary Terry than I would for Calvin Ridley.
I prefer Terry McLaurin as well.
Hopkins is still on the Titans, right? It was a 2-year deal.
Yep, it was a 2-year deal. Yep.
So they got some weapons on that team.
They do.
I guess we don't like the weapons.
Will Levis is gonna have to show up. They're isolating the variable. We talked about that a lot. That was a common theme last offseason.
Yeah.
Seeing teams like really, really load up around their young question mark of a quarterback.
Like Field.
We are sort of honestly seeing that less this year. Like it's a less common theme, but I think we'll find out about Will Levis real quick next year.
Yeah.
All right. Good riddance to Gabe Davis. You guys know I was excited. Thank you for not going to Kansas City, and thanks for the memories. I'll always have love for you, but it was your time to move on. So thank you for not going to Kansas City. I'm rooting for him in Jackson.
I have a question for you, but just a quick Buffalo question.
Yes.
How many seconds? What was it? 16 seconds or 24? Whatever.
13.
13 seconds, right? In that 13 seconds, I think he scored like 4 touchdowns.
If
you'd won that and won that Super Bowl, would you feel differently about Gabe Davis? Same performance, but you won.
Yeah, you'd have to.
If we won the Super Bowl that year, I would have got his jersey number and name tattooed on my back. Yeah, no doubt.
Because that's the thing. He's. I agree with you, but he's had his moments. But I think you're right.
He's had his moments. I will always love Gabe Davis, but I will also always say thank you for leaving.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs has been tweeting some interesting things recently. Just like
he's always tweeting.
Yeah, he always is. It's just like the wide receiver thing to do. Kevin, you're frozen a little bit, but unfortunately, because I just brought up.
Froze.
Stephon
What
Diggs.
did you say? What did he tweet? I didn't see.
I'd have to look it up, but Stephon Diggs, he was just. I think he was. I'll have to look. Let me see.
I think he just loves
Give me 1
attention,
second.
To be honest,
you can talk about.
I'm at that
he
point.
Said ready for whatever 4 hours ago, and then 8 hours ago put a heart. So like, it's not necessarily like anything that way, but
he's so
like there's
corny.
also been a lot of rumors with that. Yeah.
He's so cool. I'm so sick of it. It's such a game.
You want to keep him, obviously, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't worried about him moving him yet.
I'm not banging the Adrian Ravito drum of Diggs is washed. I'm not banging that drum.
I didn't say he was washed.
A lot of drums, dude.
I'm just kidding.
He's a
fun fact. I actually am a drummer, literally.
I knew it. See?
Send me the clips. I need it. I don't believe you unless I see the clips.
It's Brazilian drumming. Check my face. You'll see it.
My facey. Is that what they call it in Australia? What's the tight end? What's the tight end mark? I know Will Dissly signed with the Chargers. I like that because I like him.
Welcome to Australian Slang, the Adrian Ravito story.
Every episode, we teach you one Australian slang. Today was facey. Any tight end signings that we give a hoot about?
I mean, not really. I have Smith Jr. to the Chiefs. I don't mind that. You know, he was semi-productive last year. You know, he's not going to get much work at the Chiefs, but you know,
Schultz sticking around is always nice.
I like Schultz. I'm excited. Stroud keeps a weapon. Love that for my boy.
Gesicki to the Bengals, sure. Yeah,
that's something.
I was going to put Gesicki in the list, and I just wasn't excited about it.
There's nothing to be excited about.
Gerald Everett's still around, so that's cool.
Gesicki with a real QB though might be interesting. I don't know. I'm excited to see what he can do. He hasn't really ever had a real QB.
Jonnu Smith on the Dolphins.
I was going to say Jonnu Smith went to the Dolphins. I don't know about that.
I mean, that's better than what they didn't really have much production out of tight ends last year, right?
I'm surprised Jonnu Smith didn't go to the Steelers. Boom. Get it?
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. That was a deep cut. That was for Bonner. That was just for Bonner.
Mason Rudolph could be the starter.
I think let's look. I don't know, Adrian, if you even have a tab for O-line, but I would say let's look at O-line. You do.
One man is always prepared.
Scab producer.
Always
let's go.
Prepared.
So Robert Hunt to the Panthers, John Running to the Giants, Graham Glasgow to the Lions. Almost. Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, and I don't mean to be rude. Jonah Williams to the Cardinals. I don't know if this could be a more boring lineup here. All guys that are pretty good.
The Panthers signed a couple guards, so they're trying to protect.
Guards getting paid this year.
Love seeing that.
Robert Hunt got 5 years.
I was going to actually bring it up when we talked about the running backs. It's like running backs getting paid. They are, but like guards are getting paid more for the value that you get from a good running back. But anyway, that's
Mitch Morse with the Jags. We didn't write that down, but Mitch Morse signed with the Jags, former Bills center. Been with the Bills since 2019. I love him. I haven't actually spoken since the Bills purge. You guys remember that day when they cut everybody? That was a sad day.
That was I think we messaged. We're like, "Hey, you doing all right, bro?"
I actually shed a tear over Trey White. Poyer killed me. Poyer broke my heart, but Trey White, I actually shed a tear over. He was the first draft pick of the Sean McDermott era. I have not seen a Bills playoff team without those players. In my life.
That's crazy to say.
It was hurtful. It really hurt. Hyde, Poyer, White, Morse, Saron Neal, they all went miles to solidify the Bills defense and locker room and heart and stuff. So I was a bit gutted, but we live and learn, baby. This is the NFL. I'll never forget when the Bills cut Fred Jackson. That was the first time I was like, man, this is a cold business. Because I loved Fred Jackson too. He was like the heart and soul of that team for the whole drought pretty much.
Do you have any jerseys you have to hang in the rafters now?
I bought my girlfriend a Trey White jersey. Yeah. I'll still keep it. It's a legacy jersey now. You know, when I was younger, I got rid of the jerseys when guys left the team, and then years later, I'd be like, man, I wish I still had that Drew Bledsoe jersey.
Like Matt Ryan, I still had that Eric Knowles. Carson Wentz. Yeah.
You're a nut. No. You need to stop buying QB jerseys, Jimmy. You are.
No, dude. My friend bought me that as a joke for my birthday. It's not a big. It was cheap. It's a nice jersey.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Adrian,
really convenient story here for Jimmy. Really convenient story.
Very extra email.
Oh, Bonner. I can't tell if he's implying he does this or if this is a joke, but he says he pisses on them and sets them on fire. Love that for you, man. Whatever you got to do to heal.
Actually, that sounds fun.
Whatever you got to do to heal.
It's cathartic.
So my thought
Ryan's
process.
Not in the Hall of Fame. That's happening.
The fellas, we have all of offense done. I think a great plan would be next week. We have the week off, unfortunately. Jimmy's going to be in LA. He's going to be kicking it with me in SoCal. Adrian is unfortunately not coming to LA, so there will be no legit podcast next week. 2 weeks from now, we do tie up the loose ends from offense that inevitably will happen over the next 2 weeks and do our defensive free agency thoughts. How do we feel about that, fellas?
Breaking news.
Break it. The
Steelers are signing wide receiver Van Jefferson to a 1-year deal.
Congrats, Bonner.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, congrats.
The way you said it, Jimmy, I really thought we were going to get some Justin Fields trade. I thought we were going to get some big thing.
The Steelers.
I should have given you the epic music for that.
But we can redo it if you want.
How do we all feel? Do we all feel good about that plan?
That feels like a fantastic
I like it.
plan.
Yeah. There'll probably be a lot more too.
I'm thinking out loud. I had no idea we were going to get this in depth, but I'm glad we did. That's what we do on Legit Football. In case you haven't been here before,
we missed so much too. So we'll probably in a couple weeks.
All defense, the entire defense, we have to talk about. So
I feel like we'll hit some more offense. There'll be some changes.
We'll catch up on what happened.
I say we do a catch up and then we go into like more defense.
Yeah, and then before we know it, it's going to be draft time, guys. We did it. We had another Legit Football NFL podcast. I couldn't be happier. Shout out to the over 1,000 of you that are in the chat or in the room right now watching with us. We appreciate every single one of you. Those from X, those from was I frozen for a part of that?
No,
a little.
Let's go. I had a feeling I was. I got the Wi-Fi signal. I'm at my brother-in-law's house, man. I got that good internet at my house. Y'all will see me in my good lighting soon with my purple light and my this, that, and the third. It's the off season for me, so I'm remodeling the studio. But shout out to Bonner, shout out to Armand, shout out to Anthony in the chat. I think was his name. Yep, we appreciate you, Anthony. Love our legit listeners. Adrian and Jimmy, anything you guys want to say before we wrap up the show?
I'm looking forward to you being back in the studio. I know there was a plumbing issue originally.
Plumbing, then it turned into a remodeling. We're kind of doing the whole.
I just assumed your plumbing is at this point is like the seventh world of Mario. Like there's just pipes going all over the shop, and that's why it's taking
pipes all over the shop. I walk into my studio, I'm ankle deep in water. It's just not really, but.
I'm getting a Michael Pittman jersey, by the way. I have to.
You're getting a what?
Michael Pittman jersey. I have to now.
You have to
now.
Give me, dude. Just wait a couple years. Your friend will buy it for you as a joke.
Armand missed Armand really just tried to steal Jimmy's thunder here with this, and that's where we'll end the. Or was that where you got it? Oh no, you didn't get it from him.
No,
you knew it. All right,
nice try.
This has been again. Can't thank the over 1,000 of you watching today. Please go subscribe to Legit Football. It's a daily newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday. It's the reason we're able to do this amazing podcast is because of the people at Legit Football. So that's Monday through Friday. Legitfootball.com. You can subscribe. We love every single one of you.
YouTube.
And you guys are the goats. And I will catch every single one of y'all in 2 weeks.
I need a we are out.
Okay, you're right. This has been the Legit Football NFL podcast, and we are